Actually, 55,000 yen for something that is 47 centimeters tall. Yeah, 47. Is it expensive? Yes, of course. Is it overpriced? I wouldn't say so. I mean, you're getting an entire motorcycle there at 1/7 scale. Hi and welcome back to the channel. For today's figure news fix, we'll be taking a look at figures on pre-order between 2nd to 7th of October. We have an almost equal number of genuine and third-party stuff. For the genuine ones, as usual, make use of our affiliate, Hobbylink Japan, but we'll jump over to Ami and Nin Game as well. For some exclusive items, they're all over the place for this week, right? Okay, so and then for the third party, as usual, OzGK, our partner for third-party resins. Alright, without further ado, let's jump into Hobbylink Japan, HLJ, for new pre-orders, and then there are figures, yeah, right up here. I've already selected the figures I want to cover. A lot of cheap figures this week, but also an amazing scale figure and exclusive, which I am really excited about. Despite the really high asking price. Yeah, that one is an exclusive. So the first one over here, pop-up rate Alexander Anderson L-size Helsing OVA. Okay, so Helsing is a classic. I think it was from early 2000s or so. I had a friend who was really a big fan of the anime, yeah, back then. Not my kind of thing. And L-size pop-up rates so far, based on what I've seen from user pictures of other figures, yeah, they are quite a bit better than the standard pop-up rate. So if you love Helsing, this is one of very few options we have out there. Maybe it is worth picking one up. For me, I'm passing on this naturally. Up next, pop-up rate Lotte Jensen from Little Witch Academia, just under 4,000 yen. Okay. Little Witch Academia, not my kind of thing also. And for this one, as you can see, there are not really that much details going on with this figure. This is a rather safe purchase, really. I don't see Good Smell messing up this one, but it is still worth waiting until after release before picking one up. In general, I don't recommend pre-ordering pop-up rates, right? Up next, what we have here, okay, 1/6 scale Huajia, the festive undead version from Azalane. We saw this in Wonder Festival last week. Buy any game, only 22,000 yen. Now, I have no idea what she did to get herself into this situation where she is being tied up. As far as Jiangshi figures, yeah, the Chinese hopping zombie, which is what figure appears to be based on. Yeah, they are not exactly that common. I have always thought Azalane is about ship girls, but we are getting all kind of varieties, right? And I am definitely not complaining. This is perhaps the hottest hopping zombie figure I've seen yet so far. I would be quite interested to see what material did they use for that string, which is tying her arms up. What material did they use for that? Perhaps it must be a real string, right? Otherwise, it would be quite fragile otherwise. 22,000 yen, 1/6 scale. As usual, Chinese brands, they offer great value. This is a good buy if you like what you're looking at. I'm not going to complain too much about things like details or paint and shading and so on when a 1/6 scale is going for so low, but any game figures, yeah, they're kind of okay. Recently, they released this Lemalin figure, which was quite tall, 1/6 scale, and then she was around 18,000 yen or so. There were the good ones and also the bad copies, so that is one thing to bear in mind. Up next, we have pop-up rate Hifumi Mischievous straight version from Blue Archive, just under 4,000 yen as well. Okay, this is plenty detailed for a pop-up rate figure. I did mention this in One Fest Shanghai as well. At the same time, I feel like I'm just buying something from Love Live when, yeah, I mean the way the character's being dressed up. Obviously, this is an idol character, right? The same can be said for this pop-up rate of Arrow Mischievous straight version, also just under 4,000 yen. I can see these two figures receiving a huge number of pre-orders because we are talking about Blue Archive, which is already immensely popular in the first place, especially here in Asia. It is a regional thing. Yeah, for pop-up rate figures, how do I put it? Nice colors, really detailed, but I would like to see what the final product is like. There is always the chance where the value after release will go up. It happened to a few Hololive figures, despite not being that well made, but for Blue Archive, yeah, I can see that potentially happening as well. But despite that risk, I am not pre-ordering it. Yeah. Up next, Kirito from Sword Art Online movie Progressive Aria of a Starless Night, just under 4,000 yen as well. Kirito, we have plenty of options as well over in the price figure market. So depends really on whether you like this version, but if you don't, not a problem, right? There are other choices. This one, as usual, when it comes to figures of male characters, right, especially when they are wearing plain outfit, like a black tuxedo and black color trousers and so on, they normally don't translate that well into figures, like because they are plain black and almost matte finish, you can't really appreciate the details. And this applies not only to pop-up rates or even Fovio Tenitol, for example, it applies to Kotobukiya's scale figures as well. I noticed this problem even among the, what do you call it? Yeah, Chainsaw Man figures under Kotobukiya's Art FX series, right? Next one, we have an amazing scale figure of Rise Shower Vampire Makeover version by Good Smile Company, 22,368 yen, which is a really reasonable price for a 1/7 scale. I think was just last week Alta's Rise Shower went on pre-order, and that one has the better pose between that and this one. But in terms of the details department, yeah, I think Good Smile Company has the upper hands over here. Last week I said that you can't go wrong with Alta's Rise Shower figure, right? But this one is making me hard to say no as well, as far as details are concerned, because I am a detail kind of person. I have always faced this problem as a figure collector, like, this figure brand offers this figure of my favorite character, I did not think twice, I pre-order it, I purchase it, and then shortly after, another company introduces something which is just as tempting, and then that original plan of buying only one figure for each character, it is not possible, and you end up with multiple figures of the same character. That is what happened to the likes of Ereshki Gal and Saber for me when it comes to Fate series figures, right? Now we have two excellent Rise Shower figures that both I can recommend. Which one will you choose? The Good Smile version or the Outer version, or maybe both? Let me know down in the comments below. Up next, an affordable 1/4 scale by another new figure brand from China. 1/4 scale Bar Abyss Yo. What kind of name is that? Maybe in Chinese it's pronounced as Yo, not Yo, right? I don't see any hip hop stuff going on over here, but anyways, 1/4 scale, 12,400 yen. We'll see what the quality is like. Based on the product photos here alone, she looks pretty damn fine. I have no complaints at this price point. And in the end, we'll see what the final product is like. This is pretty attractive. Yeah, there are no real stockings, real fabric stockings, but it doesn't matter at this price point. All these figures need to be slightly better than even the pop-up weight XLs, and this would be well worth your money. Pop-up weight XL 1/4 scale is 25,000 yen. It is not cheap at all, and this costs half of that. Regardless of whether you know this character or not, I can highly recommend it just as an additional figure on your shelf. If you love 1/4 scales and you don't want to spend so much, this is a great purchase regardless of whether Mengxiang Toys has any reputation behind it because they are still new. I would say it is worth taking the risk to pre-order one. Yeah. Up next, we have a couple of figures from 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, which, judging by the name of the title alone, should be a game, right? The character designs are quite nice, though they feel a bit post-apocalyptic science fiction kind of thing. Yeah, at least that was my impression based on the first glance on the figure, and also the photography work did by presumably Vistar Studio. So this is a 1/7 scale figure of Natsuno Minami by QuestQ, just under 26,000 yen. Yeah, not cheap for 1/7 scale. But QuestQ makes excellent figures, so this is really up to you. we are looking at something that appears to be a schoolgirl in gym uniform and a jacket, and then there's that drone, right? That should be a drone. And a nice mini diorama base. This is quite nice. Like, it is not just a plain round plastic disc. You get something extra on top of it. So this is quite a nice package as a figure. And let's go for the pictures. The photography work. Yeah, that should be a drone. Yeah, this one right here. So post-apocalyptic scene. Yeah, maybe Earth got invaded by aliens, that kind of thing. No idea. And then the second character over here from the same series, Megumi Yakushiji. This is just under 20,000 yen, though admittedly it still feels rather overpriced, just like the other character earlier. I mean, this is school uniform, JK, and the pose is also on the plain side of things, but this is going for just under 20,000 yen, which is quite pricey to me. This is 16,000, 18,000 yen stuff maximum. Will the figure been after release? Well, your guess is as good as mine. I don't know how popular 13 Sentinels is, right? And then, yeah, here we have more photography work. I know that this is a product picture. They cannot let the color of the figure shift too much, but when the sky is orangish like that, a late evening, then I would expect the figure to look a lot more yellowish just from the light, not the skin color, right? I know this is a product photo, so they have to do it this way. But the lighting on this is a bit unnatural on the color part. Next one over here, 1x8 scale Fumika Sagisawa offstage or casual version from the Idolmaster Cinderella Girls. Just under 17,000 yen by Kotobukiya. As usual, Kotobukiya offers value. This is a nice mini diorama set for 17,000 yen. And Kotobukiya really needs to stop using that wood texture paper to photograph these figures. This is quite a small figure judging by what I'm looking at. 1x8 scale, and this is a lolly character. What is the height of this figure? 17 centimeters. Actually, that is not too bad. Not too bad for a sitting pose figure. I'm not a big fan of the face, if I had to be frank with you guys over here. Maybe it is because of the color of the hair or a combination of a few other factors. The face is looking a bit dark. Yeah, probably just shadows from her hair, right? So the eyes are quite dark over there. A decently detailed figure for 17,000 yen. As usual, Kotobukiya stuff are value oriented. Moving on to the next scale figure over here, 1x7 scale, and I have no idea how to pronounce that. Hua Hu Mo Li Mo Shang. Okay, whatever. This figure was in Wonder Festival Shanghai by Animaster, just 18,600 yen. Now, this is great value for a Chinese theme figure, which has a rather unique setup. Yeah, I mentioned this in my One Fest coverage as well. Usually with Chinese theme figures, you get a figure in Chinese dress, and what do you get? Maybe sitting on a chair, on a bench, and so on, with all those Chinese-inspired design. Usually that is the case, or you get half a tree branch or so. But this one is sitting on what appears to be a calligraphy painting of some kind like that. I think there was a couple of, was it Arknight figures that has a very similar setup, but still this is quite nice for something I barely know anything about. And the price point, yeah, incredibly reasonable. I mean, you just saw the price difference between this thing and Quest-Q, right? Quest-Q plain JK schoolgirl, 20,000 yen. This one you get the 1x7 scale figure, umbrella, and that long thing over there. I'll just call it a poster. It is not a poster, of course. 18,600 yen. So Chinese brands, I mean, their figures are not exactly what I would call cheap, but you can see the value there is different. Next one over here, a low cost figure of Roxy Megadia by Mega House. Okay, Melty Princess Mushoku Tensei. This is under this so-called Melty Princess product line, right? And this is quite a small figure at 8,000 yen. It is very similar to their palm size figures. If I'm not mistaken, let's take a look at the size. 10 centimeters, there we go. Mega House palm size figures, they are also between 7 to 10 centimeters. Roxy Megadia, the problem with this character specifically is there are already a lot of options out there. But this one is probably the only figure of Roxy Meridia at 8,000 yen price point. Obviously, you are taking a hit at the size of the figure. I'm not a fan of very small figures. In the end, we have to see whether this is like, an over-glorified price figure or better than that, right? We don't know enough yet at the moment. This is a new product line. And then the last figure on Hobby Link Japan for this week. Okay, we have Vermilion Scarlet Military Uniform Version illustration by Minakata Sunao. So last week we had the other figure going on pre-order by Race Dream. This week we have Vermilion Scarlet, 33,000 yen by Race Dream at 1/6 scale. My comment is the same thing. Go for it, pick one up. We're not looking at Love Life or FGO, where there are countless characters. Love Life is like 9 characters normally. For this series of Toho figures, it seems like there are only 2 characters specifically for this set. So 33,000 yen each, 66k for both isn't too bad actually. Go for it, this is incredible. This is also the best looking Vermilion Scarlet figure so far. Yeah, compared to every past releases even. That pose is so badass, like she's getting ready to choke the heck out of you. This pose, I love it. Okay, so there is a picture of both figures side by side. You can actually join their bases together, making it even a better purchase. Though, yeah, there we go. Can display 2 side by side, though you're going to need a lot of space, naturally. I would still highly recommend it regardless, as long space is not an issue for you. Now we jump on over to AmiAmi.com. The first one here, this is an AmiAmi exclusive. You won't find it in any other websites. 1/8 scale Suletta Mercury from Gundam Witch from Mercury. 24,200 yen is really expensive for 1/8 scale, but this is Mega House we're talking about. Bandai. So I am not surprised at all. And I think this is the only high quality scale figure of Suletta so far. And I don't expect any other brands other than Mega House to make figures of her, because Bandai and Mega House, they have an exclusive right to the Gundam brand, right? Yeah. So, like it or not, this is likely to be your only option for scale figure of Suletta Mercury, in case in future there are more options likely from Mega House as well. Yeah. Moving on to the next one over here, I think this is not an exclusive, just that HLJ is pretty slow on listing their figures on pre-order. They can be 1-2 days slow sometimes, right? So this is most likely a pre-order. I'm quite sure this figure is already out. I've seen figure collectors posting pictures of this figure on Facebook. So because of Season 3 of the Rising of Shield Hero, I'm going to catch episode 1 after I'm done with this video today. Raphtalia Bikini Armor version 1/7 scale by Seoul International, just under 18,000 yen, coming out in April 2024. Definitely not the best Raphtalia figure. My favorite one is the SWAT, the SWAT Hero version by Kotobukiya. Came out just a month or 2 ago. I've said this like half a dozen times and I'm going to keep saying it. I love that figure so much, right? This one is not too bad either. Seoul International, how do I put it? Their figures are also just average in terms of quality and detail, but at least the price reflects that. 18,000 yen. I don't think I can nitpick the figure too much based on what I've seen so far from users on the photos of this figure. Not too bad, yeah. So this one is an okay purchase really. It shouldn't be your first Raphtalia figure. If budget is no object, go for better figures of Raphtalia. But if you are looking forward to picking up more figures of the same character, then this is a solid option. 1/7 scale, 18k is a really good price, yeah. Moving on to the next one, AmiAmi exclusive as well. 1/4 scale Freeing Beast style Shuna from that slime anime. Now this is really low priced for a 1/4 scale by Freeing, just under 30,000 yen, coming out in June year 24. You know, normally with side characters of any anime, side characters, filler characters, or supporting characters, like they are not exactly part of the very main cast. I'm not sure if you could say Shuna is not part of the main cast, but normally I wouldn't put a huge budget on figures that are not the main cast. That is normally the case. FGO is always an exception though. I buy a lot of FGO stuff, regardless of how popular the character is. So 1x4 skill of Shuna from this slime anime. This is like strictly for big fans of this series and you want to collect the entire cast of this anime at 1x4 skill, then yes, of course, right? The same can be said for characters like Muran, the character on the far left over there. That is not the kind of character where I'll put a big budget on. Yeah. My favorite, of course, that girl who sucked at cooking on the right. That's my favorite among the bunch. In second place, I would say, yeah, I like Milim Nava quite a bit as well. Okay, moving on to the next one over here. This is not an exclusive. I think HLJ is just late on posting the listing as well. Goblin Slayer Season 2. They are really fast. They are seriously fast. Like episode 1 just came out and the figures are on pre-order, but that is the way to go because if you put figures of seasonal anime character on pre-order way too late after the anime has ended airing, then by the time the figure comes out half a year or a year later, that interest, that hype is already gone, and that is where you see people cancelling their orders, leading to an overproduction, overstock, and the value goes down the bin. Yeah. So timing with releasing figures from seasonal anime is really important. And this one, we are looking at Sword Maiden 1x6 scale from Hakoiri Musume, 24,350 yen. Well, this is a 1x6. I suppose 24k plus is quite a good price actually. Speaking of blindfolded characters, not very common, right? I have a third-party resin figure of Jingliu from what do you call that? Jingliu from Honkai Star Rail on pre-order. That is a blindfolded character. So Sword Maiden is entering battle herself in season 2, I'm assuming over here, because she didn't do much in season 1. Hakoiri Musume, I'm not that familiar with this brand yet, right? It is a fairly new one. Though this figure, based on these early product pictures, yeah, quite a detailed figure, and that rock base over there, that is the icing on the cake. I'm loving this figure actually. I love it quite a bit. Partial cast off. But I will still display this figure with everything on, if I have to be honest with you guys, because that is where you get to enjoy most of the details of this figure. Yeah, when you cast off everything that is just like, you know, plain white dress and so on, I'm liking this figure a lot already, seriously. This is a good pre-order. I wouldn't worry too much about, you know, like the brand under-delivering, because that is not common nowadays. We know maybe a few, 3 or 4 bad figure brands out there, but then those that make really bad products otherwise, they are not really common. Oh, okay, this figure is actually only 22,700 yen. The one I clicked on is an exclusive. I did not notice it earlier. So this slightly more expensive version comes with an acrylic figure stand. Really up to you whether you want one or not. For me, I wouldn't be bothered by that, right? 22,700 yen. This is an excellent price for 1x6, period. Okay, and then we have another Goblin Slayer figure from the same brand. 1x6 scale Priestess, 22,700 yen as well for the regular version. The face is too red, don't you think? I think the face is too red over here. Yeah, there is a slight blush over there, I get it, but it looks weird when the skin color on the face is different from the rest of the figure, you know, like the arms, the legs, and so on. They look nice together, but that Sword Maiden is so much nicer than this Priestess. Indeed, I'm staring at this figure for quite a while now, and I'm not sure about the skin color difference between the face and the rest of the figure. She is having quite the blush over there on her face because of that goblin dong over there, big and juicy and thick, you know. So will we be getting any goblin figures? The third-party resin figure brands will take care of that, right? The next one over here, this is a figure by Eastream, and this figure cannot be shipped to half of the planet. As you can see over here, this product cannot be shipped to the following areas and then blah blah blah, including my country, Malaysia. But I guarantee you that even if you don't ship to Malaysia because of a local company over here in Malaysia having an exclusive right to this figure, I will find a way to get one if I really wanted to, without going through this official distributor in my country. It is possible to do it, right? Anyways, we're looking at Milim Nava, Dragonoid Dragon Form version 1/7 scale from that slime anime, 38,500 yen. Yeah, she is unleashing some energy ball of some kind. Let's have a look at the pictures over here. Oh wow. So she is meant to be going against that Rimuru Tempest figure. That figure which I have always recommended to you guys if you wanted a figure of Rimuru Tempest. Oh, this is a pair to that one. Now this is interesting. If not for those metal rods supporting all those extra parts, right, these two figures really go well together. Never been a fan of effect parts, but it works really well for this figure. I won't lie about that. That metal rod really ruins it, right? Ruins the aesthetic of the figure otherwise, but I know it can't be helped. I'm just asking for the impossible over here. Okay, so that right leg has to be plugged into that effect part base over there, and then the left leg would be this metal rod. Really? I suppose this is what happens when you are being overly ambitious with your figure design, and then in the end you couldn't support it really well, and this is the end result. The figure itself looks amazing, but yeah, the metal support really ruins the aesthetic a bit. I doubt that the fans of this figure would care at all, right? And the last figure on Ami for today, Honor of Kings Swan Starlet's Xiao Qiao 1/7 scale from Mietos. Initially, I thought 41,000 yen plus for a Chinese figure is really expensive, right? And then the more I look at the figure, I started to notice that there is a second girl behind her, making this figure actually being an absolute bargain, the exact opposite. You see, this picture over here initially, I couldn't tell there's a second character behind her, right? And then as I scroll through the picture, yeah, there is a second girl behind her. Now, this is not the kind of thing I collect, but I would love to have one. I don't know, in my studio, on a shelf, on display. This is an incredible piece of art over here. Colors are so vibrant, and with the pictures Mietos is providing us over here, yeah, you can really appreciate the amount of details, the amount of effort they put into this figure alone. Right? Okay, let's go through pictures. You look at the outfits over here. The outfits on this one. This has a gothic feel to it somehow. Yeah, that, and look at those wings. I think this wing over here, these wings on this figure, this is my favorite part of this figure. This is the kind of figure which I normally won't buy, but if I have the kind of disposable income where I have some cash lying around, and then other than the usual stuff I collect, FGO, Blue Archive, and so on, and then I come across something like this, hell yes, I would pick one up. Right? Look at that base over there. Yeah, I'm quite speechless about this base, and this base is incredible. Okay, so that is all for Ami. We move on to Nin Game, Rocket Boy and Native. Characters selection, Ane Taiken, Jogaku Ryo, Sakuraya Mahiru 1/6 skill, Anniversary Life, Limited and Bonus version. This is 36,000 yen coming out in April year 24. Okay. Normally, I'm not a fan of ecchi figures where the TDs are already exposed by default. Yeah, I would totally display figures like this at my home, even with my parents around, with relatives around. I don't care about other people, right? If the ecchi figure is a bit like, battle damage, Ikitozen figures, for example, where the clothes are torn and then the boobs are exposed, then I think that makes more sense. But for an outfit, a complete outfit like this, only to not cover her boobs, yeah, it is kind of odd to me. Even if this is based on, what do you call that, an artwork. The next one, the best skill figure this week, Undisputed Champion. Unfortunately, this figure of Black Rock Shooter Empress is a Spiritale shop online exclusive, and if Spiritale they don't ship to your country, then you can grab it from niningame.com. Yeah. So this one is going for a mouth-watering 55,000 yen, coming out in June next year, year 24. Actually, 55,000 yen for something that is 47 centimeters tall. Yeah, 47. I wouldn't call this overpriced. Is it expensive? Yes, of course. Is it overpriced? I wouldn't say so. I mean, you're getting an entire motorcycle there at 1/7 scale. 55k? Hell yes. I mean, I'm not sure if I would pre-order one now, but I'm thinking of getting this figure next year when it comes out. Even if Ninin Game does not have it in stock later on, I can always look for one in Taobao in China. They always have everything, right? So I'm not concerned about pre-ordering it early, especially when I have access to the Chinese market when it comes to figures. This thing is full of details, definitely. Yeah, I would still rate this figure above that Mietos figure earlier. This is my favorite this week. Maybe because I'm biased, because I like science fiction, you know. And for this specific figure, not only I will buy a genuine copy for 55,000 yen, I might buy a bootleg version as well because I want that motorcycle only. I want to modify it into a prop, into a display piece for some other figures and so on for photography use. Yeah, heavily modify it, repaint it into different color and so on. There are so many ways to do things, right? So I am really looking forward to this one next year. One of my most highly anticipated figures for year 24, and it isn't an FGO figure. Yeah. I have always been a big fan of Black Rock Shooter in terms of character design, especially the game version. This version over here where we got an anime series is not as nice, but given that we are getting an entire motorcycle over here, I am certainly not complaining at all. See you in year 2024, June. Hopefully there are no delays. The next one here, this is Vertex Antenna Shop exclusive as well, so you can only find it on Ninin Game, I think. Quite a shame that she does not come with the grass base, which came with the previous figures of this elf series. This one is Luluna, and she's going for 36,400 yen, which is, ouch, really expensive. Back then, I think the previous figures were like 25,000 yen each, right? This is a huge price jump. But regardless, if you are collecting this series of elf figures by Vertex, still go for this one. This is a good buy. This is a really good buy. Money will solve all my problems with figures, I swear. I can only enjoy the pictures over here. Alright, moving on to the next figure over here. There are two different price points, and here we go again. The website Ninin Game is bugging out. Can I change it back to yen, Japanese yen? The website does not let me change it. See, there's a bug. Original Design Art Corp YD Sage 1/7 scale. This is the deluxe edition where you get a tapestry. From Astrum Design and their series of girls wearing face masks because they are still fighting a pandemic over there. Okay, artwork based characters. Either you like the design or you don't, right? Astrum Design figures, right? These artwork figures, I do certainly highly recommend them. If you like the character design, their figures have looked amazing so far. Every single figure under this series of face masked girls, that is what I call them, they have looked really nice. You can check out user pictures over in myfigurecollection.net. And here is a standard version. Okay, 17,000 yen for the standard version. So just now that exclusive version with the tapestry is more than 20,000 yen. The standard version is 17,000 yen, which is still a bargain at 1/7 scale. Astrum Design is a Chinese brand, so obviously they will offer more value. And that is all for genuine figures on pre-order this week. We'll move on to third parties, making use of OzGK, this channel's affiliate partner. For almost every resin figure I'm about to cover, there is a pre-order link down in the comments below to make use of them if you're interested in any of the figures this week. For resins, right, this week there is only one figure which attracted my attention. The others are not really my kind of thing. It is just a matter of preference, right? So here we have newest pre-order section. This section is where we'll check things out, and I have selected the figures I want to cover. Mostly female characters unless it is from a very popular or ongoing trending franchise like Genshin, right? Okay, now we'll start off with two different Anya figures, and both Anya figures are crying for some reason. So from this one, YYDS Studio, we have gone full Anya, that's what they call it. Okay, this is not the real price, right? This is just a placeholder. We don't know the price of this figure yet, but I'm not expecting this one to go more than 100 or 150 US dollars. This should be quite a low cost figure otherwise, right? So the next one over here from CR Studio, another crying Anya figure. This one is going for $77. As you can see, Anya figures, they are quite cheap because she is very small, right? Okay, this one, I think this picture is enough. And then the rear view, the back view, yeah, nothing much going on. I would just go for a genuine figure like the one by Good Smile where you have Your Forger and Anya together as a set at 1/7 scale. That is pretty nice already. But if you are into collecting Anya, yeah, then yeah, this is a great value purchase. Moving on to the next one. Okay, this is the one I was talking about. The only figure that interested me this week. Racing Studio Minamoto no Yorimitsu. Yeah, Raiko wedding dress version. Oh, nice. This is really nice. Okay, this price $382 at the. This is 1/4 scale, 45 centimeters. Nice. $382 for a 1/4 scale with this flight of stairs over here, which is just the bonus. I don't care about the stairs over there for this figure. This is perhaps the only 1/4 scale of Raiko out there so far. Now let's have a look at the pictures. Normally, I'm not a big fan of, 1/4 scales or wedding dress, especially one wedding dress figures. I'm not a big fan of it. But this is Raiko, the MILF of Fate's Grand Order. And of course, the figure is cast-offable, I can tell already. Maybe just partially, but that is not the important part. For me, cast-off is just a bonus, right? Okay, moving on to the next one over here from Fairy Bean Studio with original Shadow Wei Yan Yu. Licensed resin figure, full price $637 at 1/4 scale. Now, yeah, no idea who she is either. And this is a unique combination. I mean, traditional Chinese outfit. Like, this is traditional Chinese farmer, they wear that hat over there and then they will be at the rice fields, but underneath, what do we have there? A bikini or something like that. Yeah, this is an interesting combination of outfits. Moving on to the next one. This one was actually displayed at Wonder Festival Shanghai. Fairy Bean Studio Inuyasha Guardian of the Earth licensed resin figure. $784. Must be 1/4 scale. It is not mentioned here, but at this price, it has to be 1/4. This is an early bird pre-order. We need more pictures, right? Okay. Suddenly, we are having quite a number of Inuyasha figures lately, both from the genuine side and from the third-party side, somehow. Next one over here, this is also from OneFest Shanghai, Jime Place Studio Overlord Albedo, licensed resin figure. The price is not yet confirmed. This is not the real price. And this should be... Okay, this should be 1/6 scale. I mean 41 centimeters, but that is including the backdrop. This has to be 1/6 scale. So we have Albedo in bed diorama. This is a really nice looking figure of Albedo. There we go. From OneFest. Alright. We'll see what the price is like, but this won't be cheap because it is a resin figure. Up next, from Chai Studio, we have Yamato from One Piece. This is going for $196. There are better figures of Yamato out there at this price point. This one looks okay. Yeah, she looks okay, but I've seen better ones out there. Moving on to the next figure, we have Boa Hancock from One Piece by TH Studio. This one is $135 for the regular version, and then there's a black silk version. I suppose the outfit, right, instead of purple, you're getting black color, and then there's a high-end version, $186 for both color variants, which I assume you're getting a nude torso. Am I right? Let's have a look at the product description over here. Oh, okay, high-end version, you're getting a base with special effects platform. Okay, different base. I was wrong this time around. Okay, let's have a look at the pictures over here. I'm not sure this base they're showing over here is the standard or the deluxe version. I'm assuming it is the deluxe version. Oh, this must be the deluxe version. You're getting an extra bunch of smoke or whatever that is in front of the figure. Yeah, really depends, but for figures like this, I would always go for the deluxe version, the more expensive version, if I'm getting a better base. Oh, are we getting effects with lighting inside now? This is really nice. Yeah, this is the deluxe version. You're getting a bunch of stuff more over there, And from the looks of it, yeah, the heart effect lights up. This is quite an interesting figure of Boa Hancock. Yep. Whoa, that is quite nice. That is really nice. Okay. Moving on to the next one, Sage Time Studio, Azalin IJN Owari. Okay, this is an early bird pre-order with no price yet. 1/6 scale, and this is the only picture we're getting. They love putting Azalin figures into this one-piece dress, where the dress is barely covering the body, right? They really love doing that. Okay, the next one over here, this is also from OneFest Shanghai, though I did not cover this figure in my coverage because, you know, the website I used to cover OneFest, they updated more figures right after I'm done filming my video. Always happens. Okay, so this one is a collab between Kadokawa and Acme Studio, Albedo from Overlord, and this one is, wow, $1,200 US. Normal edition, special edition, $1,564 US. Now this is definitely one of the coolest Albedo figure I've seen, and I don't think there are any figures of Albedo wearing this armor, right? I don't think there are any out there. This thing cost as much as a full frame camera. Try to brain that for a second. This is completely different territory for figure collectors over here, but I love this so much. This is quite a problem. I have quite the taste for expensive, high-end stuff. Wow. So there is the option to display her in full armor, where I don't see a reason why you should display her in this version. This must be the deluxe version, the more expensive one where you're getting parts for both variants. I do still think it is worth going for the more expensive version. We are spending 4 digits in US dollar for a figure. Up next, also OneFest Shanghai stuff, Lightyear Studio Legend of Sword and Fairy 3, Zi Xuan. Licensed resin figure, $681 US, and then you have the one with DLC for $887 US. Okay, so you're getting a mermaid for $887. I still prefer this one. Now, this is one of those occasions where I prefer human over a mermaid, right? Maybe you're getting parts for both, actually. Okay, we'll take a look at the pics over here. Of course, at this price, it has to be 1/4 scale. I could only appreciate the details on this figure. Okay, there we go. The height of the, wow, 65 centimeters. Yeah, these are the options you're getting for between the standard one on the left and the deluxe one on the right, right? Okay, so we'll move on to the next one over here from Carving Star Art Studio. We have Elsa Scarlet from Fairy Tail. This is a licensed resin figure for $484 US. Okay, what is the scale? 1/6 scale, $484. This is quite pricey. Specifically for Elsa Scarlet, there are many other good quality PVC figures out there. Maybe go for that instead of this one. This is manga art style, right? I don't think her face looks like this in the anime. But I don't think I can recommend this one, even if they are giving us an acrylic stand. Not at this price. Moving on to the next one, Jomatao Studio Fights Break Firmament number 3, Xiao Shun licensed resin figure from OneFest Shanghai as well. $843 at 1/4 scale. Very Chinese indeed, and only 2 pictures so far. Okay, I don't really have a comment for this figure. The next one, also OneFest Shanghai stuff. Wow, they're really fast, man, between the displaying in an event and putting it on pre-order. Infinity Studio Asuka from Evangelion 3.0. Okay, this one is $993 US. 1/2 scale. This is a half scale. This is really tall. So $993 is actually quite reasonable. Collector's Edition $993, Deluxe Edition $1,140. Of course, I will always tell you guys to go for the more expensive variant. Getting this weapon and a better base, right? Yeah. 1/2 scale, more than 90 centimeters. I believe including the spear over here, this is easily a meter tall. So to budget for the space, maybe you can put it on an altar, you know, at the home and pray it like a deity. Like, if it is your beloved waifu, your favorite waifu, of course. Yeah, this is the difference between the standard and the deluxe version. Of course, go for the deluxe one, 105 centimeters. There we go. That is huge. The next one here, okay, this is actually a product picture from the studio. Ken Studio Your Forger from Spy Family. This is not the official price yet, I think. Regular version $529 and deluxe version $845 US dollars. 1x4 scale as well. Okay, this one is a bit difficult to recommend because I've seen better figures of Your Forger at 1x4 scale. Also with this realistic adult face. This one pales a bit in comparison, so... Oh, wow! Now this is terrible. This face is terrible. What is this? No, stay away from this. This has to be the ugliest Your Forger face so far among the realistic interpretations. Yeah, skip this one. Skip this figure. Next one, also One Fest stuff, Unique Art Studio, Mai Shiranui from King of Fighters, licensed resin figure, $528 US dollars at 1x4 scale. Yeah, my comment remains the same compared to my One Fest coverage. Like, Mai Shiranui in a cow bikini outfit and that base over there, I don't know. I want Mai Shiranui in her combat outfit, that red color outfit, but we have plenty of choices for that in a third party as well. This one, what is she doing? Selling bread at a dairy farm or something like that. Yeah, fan service, right? With licensed stuff, you don't really have to worry about the quality. The quality is usually there. But this Mai Shiranui, no, can't really recommend it based on the way the figure is being set up. Okay, the next one over here, this one is quite sus to me. Yeah, suspicious, right? Prism Studio Hatsune Miku Night Princess going for $302 US dollars at 1x7 scale. I believe this was a very limited. This was a really limited resin figure or garage kit back then in a Wonder Festival many years ago. And if a third party Chinese brand is pushing out this same exact figure, then this is most likely a bootleg. In other words, this is a recast. I'm quite certain I've seen this before. And recast resin figures are technically bootlegs because they are replicas of existing ones, which are the genuine ones. Yeah, I know there will be still some of you who are interested in this one because the original garage kit of this thing was so limited. We're talking about maybe 200 units worldwide, and that is limited in Japan only. So some of you will still be tempted to this. I can't recommend bootleg figures. I don't support bootleg stuff. For me, this Miku is not really my kind of thing. Not a fan of it. Next one is also a licensed resin figure with a lot of licensed stuff this week. Yeah, must be related to One Fest, of course. The timing is impeccable right there. From Lightyear Studio, Ghostblade Aeolian, $513 US dollars at, yeah, 1x4, right? 1x3 scale, okay. So, not my kind of thing, of course. And I know that they are trying to, portray a certain vibe or certain environment, so the pictures are really dark, but this is not helping. I mean, the dark pictures is not helping us appreciate and see the details on the figure, right? Now this is better. Okay, wow, the texture on the outfit is sweet. Oh, so this is actually kind of like a bust statue, right? The legs are being chopped off, so definitely not my kind of thing. Height is 40 centimeters. The next one over here, okay, Beast Studio, they stole an artist artwork. I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, there was an episode of Figure News Fix where I called them out, and obviously they are not detailed by it, of course, because these things, 95%, 98% of them are sold in China only, so they can't be bothered. So for this figure, I'm not including the affiliate link in my in the description below, right? I don't want to support art theft. If I'm aware that it is a case of theft, then I don't want to support it. Okay, this is Kitasan Black. Of course, they are asking for trouble with CY games, we'll see. So 1x6 skill, $194 and 1x4 skill, $306. But regardless, you want a figure of Kitasan Black, go and get the one by Kotobukiya, right? Yeah, it is not 1x4 skill, but still, I mean, Uma Musume figure, just plain bikini outfit. There's nothing special about this thing. Yeah. Moving on to the next one, Seeking Studio, One Piece Devil's Son Nico Robin. Okay, going for $323, 41 centimeters tall. So this is huge. You know, with figures like this, right? Some superstitious people wouldn't even buy one or display it at their homes even though they like the character, because we are looking at literally a statue of a demon over there in some kind. Now, we Asian people, or at least our relatives who are more old school, yeah, they are going to question things like this. We do have this problem among some families out there. This is not my kind of figure either, right? So we move on to the next one. This is the only dude figure I'm covering for this week for resin stuff because it is from Genshin Impact. Shell from Wilsong Studio and Goblin Workshop Studio. Full price $359. So if you want Shell and Apex Toys version is not good enough for you because you want to see him with that giant PP over there, yeah, this is an option you can consider. 1x6 scale, so this is also bigger than the one made by Apex Toys. I'm going to repeat the same thing I said in my Apex Toys Shell figure review. This is a short guy. Yeah. Nice base. Of course, you can display him without that thing exposed, right? There is there's something covering his crotch region. I think this is the main trademark of Shell, that mask over there. Even the one on Apex version, it was really detailed. I like it a lot. The next figure over here, this is an early bird pre-order. We don't even have a prototype of the figure yet. Raiden Shogun from Genshin Impact by Sekshi Studio in this naked apron outfit. So yeah, we'll see. Two different variants, presumably a second one with more extra nude body parts, something like that. Okay, moving on to the next one from Lazy Dog Studio with Ganyu from Genshin Impact. This is going for $359 and you're getting a bunch of effect part bonanza over here. At 1x6 scale. Is this a factory photo or One Fest photo? It can't be Wonder Festival. I can't imagine a prestigious event like Wonder Festival allowing unlicensed stuff to be displayed over there. So this is likely to be a picture from their factory or their production line somewhere, right? But I'm seeing a lot of people in the background. Is this really One Fest stuff? Kind of hard to believe though. I'm not sure if I like this Ganyu. I think the one made by NPP Studio, that one was quite a lot simpler, right? No giant base and so on. The one by NPP Studio looks a lot nicer. This one still looks fine, but I think in terms of the face proportion, I don't know if it is the width, like the face looks a bit weird to me over here. The proportion of the face, yeah. Okay, so you're paying half of the figure price for the base over here. And this base specifically doesn't look that nice to me either, right? Up next, something from Honkai Star Rail. This is Fuxian, made by Hakimi Studio. No official price yet. I think by now there are like 5 or 6 different figures of Fuxian already. I don't think I'll pick up a figure of Fuxian because of character design, not really my kind of thing, you know. So there are some planets orbiting around her. Okay. This is a 3D render, right? It looks like a 3D render to me. I want to see actual product pictures. So until then, I won't comment too much. The next one over here, okay, Juhun Create Studio Original Fox Princess Twin Flowers. Original character. $990. This resin stuff. Oh, okay. I think I covered this figure last week, right? Do you know why I remember covering this figure? before because of that BDSM down there. Yeah, that second figure down there. I think I covered this figure before. I couldn't recognize it. And here we have an actual product picture. Now we are talking, you see. On one hand, we have figure brands, resin figure brands who give us CGI renders, and here you go, we are taking pre-orders for this, and we have companies who show us actual product pictures. Okay, this is Wonder Festival. See that Wonder Festival icon on the top left corner? So they actually display this at OneFest, okay? But at least we get to see the actual product. This is what I want to see. Not my kind of thing, naturally. Okay, I'm starting to believe that just now the other figure of Ganyu earlier, yeah, that was also a display piece at OneFest. So they actually display unlicensed stuff too. That is something new to me. Yeah, over in OneFest in Japan, of course, you have third-party unlicensed GK makers too, garage kit makers who sell their own limited figures, 200 units, 500 units maximum, right? So I guess that it makes sense. This is amazing for an original character. But for $1,000, that is the kind of money I spend on camera. I love my cameras. I'm a camera guy. I will spend it on cameras or lenses. No, I don't see myself spending on figures or statues unless, yeah, I become rich in future, of course. Next one over here, Juhun Create Studio as well. Original character Delirium. $622 for Model A, Model B 624. Same price. What is going on over here? Oh, I see. The difference is just the chest tattoo. Okay, so version A, if you look at her right boob over there, there is no tattoo, and version B, there is a tattoo over there. That is the difference. I'm not sure if literally one single water transfer decal, a tattoo, is enough to make two different variants of the same figure. Maybe they'll mass produce the figure without decal, and then depending on how much you pay for the figure, they'll put the decal on at the last minute. Maybe that is how they are doing things, but I'm not sure if it is worth the trouble at all, right? Yeah, these resin figures with huge wings, they look really majestic in any collection, right? We only have 3 pictures over here, which is quite a shame. I want to at least appreciate the details, you know. Moving on to the next one. Okay, another Honkai Star Rail figure. This is Jingliu by Arctic Wolf Studio. Going for $264 for version A. 210 for the explicit one. And then we have 441 where you get both. Yeah, $441. I already pre-ordered the Jingliu figure by Absinthe Studio. Still my favorite figure of Jingliu until today after seeing so many variants by different companies. But if I want a lute version, yeah, maybe this lute version is worth going for. Normally, you know, I don't recommend you guys to go all the way out to buy a lute version of a favorite character. If it comes as optional parts, then maybe yes. But to go all the way out just to buy a nude version of a favorite character, I'm not sure what to say about that. Like, you know, put your money into detailed stuff like figures like this, yeah. Next one, we have Honkai Star Rail Kafka from Sekshi Studio. This one is going for $73 for the unpainted version. You can buy this as a garage kit in a way. Painted version, $155, which is still pretty low cost for resin figure. And then there is A+ version, which I assume you're getting a nude body, right? Yeah. Oh, A version is nude version and A+ is the clothing version. So what you are seeing over here, this picture, this is $190, which I'm not sure if I can recommend because there are so many better Kafka figures out there with her, you know. Her default battle suit, as they call it, the default original character design, that is what I would personally go for. This is like something you wear to bait to seduce your boyfriend, you know. And the colors are a bit too monotonous, like everything is just purple color. Can't recommend this Kafka figure either, right? And the last resin figure for today from Gamma Studio, original character Micro Monster number 2 Shin-chan. $512 at 23 centimeters, $512. So the last figure for today is also the most overpriced one for the week. 23 cm is like 1/6 scale. Yes, it is pretty detailed for a resin figure, but detailed figures are not rare nowadays, and I'm not sure if this figure's price of $513 is justifiable at all. More coming. I don't know what is the price for the first one over there. I think it went on pre-order long ago, right? And that is all for figures on pre-order this week between 2nd to 7th of October. Which figure will you pre-order? Let me know down in the comments below. For me, my absolute favorite has to be that Empress Black Rock Shooter figure this week. Yeah, number one. And even though I don't think I'll pre-order it right now, I'm looking forward to it next year when the figure does come out. Hopefully, I can shake up some budget for her. That is all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please do give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more figure content in general. Until then, I'll see you guys again very soon. Goodbye.